Welcome to another episode of the Winning Team Podcast. This is the special edition. Y'all hear extra voices. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you see extra faces. But this is a special edition of the Winning Team Podcast. I am your host, Eugene.
And I am Latanya.
And we are the winning team. For probably 7 or 8 years, we were just trying to get our son ready for college, and we often would ask the question of what's in your future. But after we started doing that, my wife was like, well, why don't we just invite other people to come along this ride as we're preparing him for college, preparing him for not just college, but preparing him for his future, whatever that may hold. And so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a couple more, 8, 9. And actually the first year with some other faces. So roughly I'll say between 9 and 10 wonderful young adults in our home for 7 or 8 years straight, every summer for 6 to 7 weeks. And it was just an amazing time. So we thought that it would be a great idea that now that they are, I ain't even gonna say grown, they're young adults, because but we do have one person that's grown, graduated from college now, and she, got her own job. She's not here, but we love Katrina. But my thing is that this is young adults. So we decided to have an episode where we can catch up with these young adults and just talk about life. So before we jump into that, we want to ask, just the question is, what do you actually remember?
Wait, should we introduce them?
That's a good idea.
Introduce themselves.
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
So we can go around the room. Anybody want to start? Anybody?
I can start.
I would say you can say, just throw out your name, where you are college-wise, career-wise, college and career-wise. That's really it. Because we'll get into some other stuff as we go deeper. So, yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm Tamia. I'm going into my senior year of college at Michigan State University.
Go green.
Go white.
Go white.
Majoring in environmental engineering. Almost close to that grad life.
Hey man, it's great.
I'm Micah. I am a senior now at Bradley University. I'm a double major in sports communication and journalism with a minor in media production.
All right.
My name is AJ Thomas. I am currently working full-time whilst trying to get into the trades.
That's awesome. That's the next level of millionaires. How about $5?
Yeah, I got you.
My name is Jeremiah Aiken. Currently, I'm enrolled at Cole College, going into my senior year, majoring in business, trying to become a sports management major to become a coach.
Let's go.
My name is Noah Hampton. I attend Tennessee State University, and I'm majoring in finance, and I'm going into my sophomore year.
Let's go.
And I haven't done really anything career yet. I just got started, so.
That's all right.
My name is Nadia Blevins-Brooks. I'm a second year at Waubonsee Community College, getting my associates this December. I'm majoring in finance as well as I'm a pre-law student, and I'll be going into NIU next semester.
Let's go.
I got really nervous going last.
I am Katie Slaughter. I am going into my junior year at Millikan University, and my major is business management with a minor in digital marketing.
That's awesome. Very good. So now I'll just do a little shifts, because again, as we said, we met with y'all for 7 years that we got on y'all nerves for every single summer. Every summer.
6 weeks.
But y'all kept showing up. I don't know if it was because your parents made you come, but the fact that you all again are here right now says a lot for us. We're honored. But what actually do you remember about the What's in Your Future sessions? What stuck with you? What's one thing? And it's open. Anybody can jump in.
My future is my responsibility.
Yeah.
My responsibility. So I do gotta put a tidbit there, because what we did is that they all had binders, and what happened with those binders is that they couldn't, once they started the program, they could no longer call it a binder. They had to call it their future. And so every time they came, we would contribute something to their future, and they had to contribute something to their future. And the mantra of the day was always,
my future is my responsibility.
My future is my responsibility. So imagine someone showing up and they don't have their future. And I said, where's your future? Oh, I left my future. I lost my future. I lost
Can I get another one?
Can I get another future? So it was just a way of, words have power. And so it was a way of helping them to take responsibility for their future, what they contributed to their future. And many of them, not only did we contribute to their future, we would ask them too, what have you contributed to your future this week? And then we would have a conversation about what they've contributed. And I don't know, did anybody, I know we invested, I don't remember who we gave money. We've even invested and gave money to start bank accounts or brokerage accounts. It was just great. We had a good time. But anybody else, what did you learn? Or what did you remember from the session? Not even something you learned.
You actually brought mine up. It was one time I came, and it was the beginning of the summer, and I couldn't find mine. He was like,
you couldn't find your what?
My future. It was like, damn, you left your future at the crib? What's going on? So what you said about like having like words that mean something, that definitely stuck with me. Like having the idea of leaving your future somewhere, you know. So I definitely went home and found that, brought it the next time.
Good.
It was a little pressure. I feel like it was a pressure on, like, why you ain't got your future? Why you don't have your future? So,
And some of you decorated the fronts of your future. Do you remember? It was kind of like your version of the vision board. Do some of y'all remember what y'all put on the front of y'all future?
Yeah, I remember.
I change mine every summer.
That's right, true. Yeah.
I had a picture of Kobe and a Rolex for sure. I remember that.
Yes.
Great.
I remember I just spelled my name out in those like sticky sticky letters. And I think I had a basketball too, because I was still playing basketball at the time in high school. So I think I got a drawing of myself in like the future. I don't really remember exactly what it was, but I mean, it was definitely something future related. But
Okay. Anybody else?
I'll share one of probably my favorite memories. There's probably two that I can really share. One is the supermarket
Grocery
experience.
shopping.
oh my gosh! Who was?
The Walmart
Who's together? Who forgot?
I remember
Say
I
more
was
about
really
that.
there.
Yeah, I think it was me. It was me.
I was sitting on the floor.
Oh, yeah. We was like,
I remember.
Like, Katie, get up.
I was like, did
Why
y'all
did we
pay
do
for
this?
this stuff? No, we didn't. I was like,
did
come
we do
in.
the supermarket?
So we were doing a whole life skill section on really what it costs to live. And so they had money that they had to go shopping. They had a list. I think they had a list.
Yeah.
And
They had to feed a family of 4.
Yeah, they had to feed a family of 4 with this amount of money. And so some had kids. I think some didn't have kids. And then what we then did was the food that we bought and purchased, we then donated it to a food pantry. And so it was really a life skill around how much living cost. And I remember, I feel like it was Katie. Katie was on the floor at one point in the middle of Walmart. I'm not sure how we ended up on the floor. But then I feel like somebody was like, it costs a lot to be an adult. We like, yes, it does. So that's probably one of my favorite memories of activities that
One of my favorite memories is when you all had to, when we said your grade point average equals choices. And so I think we gathered all of your grade point averages, and your grade point average was then associated with what you would earn. And then we set up stations all around the house. And then you had to go and buy a house, buy a car, get insurance, and work your budget. And many of you figured out real fast, because some of you went straight for the cars, and then you didn't have enough money to eat. You didn't have enough money to eat at the end of the day. But that was just, again, another activity of trying to help you figure out budgeting, life skills, etc. Very good.
A moment I remember, especially, I appreciate it was like the last year, the movies we watched, like Higher Learning and School Days. Everybody's saying the Chief. my cheek. Katie specifically used saying that, but I love the movies though. The movies are really cool. Just seeing how college life was, because we were all close to our last years in high school. I actually appreciate that. It made me feel more comfortable about going into college and like the different cliques that would be there, because I'd seen how parties look like, and I mean they weren't like what they're exaggerated from the movies, but still it showed how the college life looked like, not just as a student but as a Black student, and I really appreciated that, getting that view. And now going to college, movies are actually kind of true in a lot of aspects, so I actually appreciate that, and the movies were really enjoyable too.
Great. So shifting a little bit, thinking about when we first started, what's in your future? So I'm saying y'all had to be around 12 or 13. Mm-hmm. So what did you believe at 12 or 13 that you absolutely had to rethink now at 19, 20, and 21?
I would say time. Especially with, as a kid, you have your parents to do everything for you. But now, like, understanding there's more things you have to prioritize, especially with having a job, needing things to pay for, other responsibilities. I think time especially is the more important thing in life, because, that's the one thing you can't get back. So now you having to being an adult to understand, how to prioritize.
Very good.
Definitely to add on to that, like, when I first got here, I was just like, oh, when I get to college, I'm going to have everything figured out. Like, I'm going to be grown. No, that is not the case. Like, there are still so many things that I'm, like, figuring out and, like, struggling with. And, like, I thought, like, I would be more independent, but I still call my parents almost every day. Like, y'all, I don't know what to do. So it's, like, just seeing that difference of, like, I still need my parents, but, like, there is a aspect of independence. It was like balancing that and like just, stumbling your way through every day. Yeah.
It's very good.
It's a muscle you have to exercise. Independence is a muscle, and it's a thing that doesn't just happen automatically. But also I think even dependence on people. Like, it's okay to still depend on people, but then also trying to navigate who you are in the mix of that. So that's real talk. Okay, that's real. Yeah.
And the whiplash is probably, I can't wait till I get out this house. I want to be on my own, be grown. Wait, I still need them.
Yeah.
Like, wait, I don't have no money to be on my own. Yeah. Like, wait a minute. Anybody else think? What did you believe at 13 that you had to completely rethink?
Just to piggyback off of what you guys just said. Also, I think relationships too, because like I know some of you know, like I'm a quiet guy. Just understanding, to be even successful or have a successful like life outside of just your own personal life. You're gonna have to build relationships, and that's gonna help you succeed in the end. Because as much as a lot of people, especially nowadays, want to be independent. There's still that need to rely on people, because sometimes you can't figure everything out by yourself. And just building those connections and relationships with others, helps you get to know more and helps you be able to be more successful down the road, especially when you retire or just have something to piggyback off of.
That's very good. Yeah, I was a very insecure, I'll say, teenager, and so for me, it was my pride wouldn't allow me to ask for help. And so what happened is I just started trying to figure out everything on my own. And so I did become a very resourceful person, but you will get further. You can go faster by yourself. It's a quote. It says you can go faster by yourself, but it says you can get further with other people. So I think that you're spot on. It's like now it's just a matter of creating the right relationships so that those relationships based on your future, and you don't want to just use people, but you want to make sure that you can contribute as well, but having the right relationships where y'all both can help one another. That's good.
So I'm gonna throw in this, so kind of piggybacking on those same kind of concepts around independence and even like who you are at 13 and who you now are at 21 are completely different people. Who are you, if you had to like identify who you are becoming? Or let me even, before I say that, what are you learning about yourself after now being in college and having some space from your parents now and from your family system and really building out your own systems? What are you learning about who you are? And then who are you becoming?
What I'm learning about myself is that no matter how hard I try, that not everybody's going to like me. And I learned that my first year with just having a roommate that didn't really like me or didn't really care too much, even though I tried to be kind. And that regardless of like what I do or like how I act around somebody, and if I believe that I'm doing the best for them or like listening to them or hearing them out, it's not always going to be somebody who wants to be around you.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good. That's so good.
That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think for me, I just learned how to sit back and like watch a situation rather than jump into the situation. Because you guys all know when I was 13, I used to be a little rowdy child. But like now I'm more of the type to sit back and just watch what happens and figure out my place. And if I'm not supposed to be in that space, I let myself go. I don't feel the need to try to make myself a part.
Good.
What I'm learning about myself is that I can't control it all, and I have to be okay with that. Because if something is not going my way, I like to just like jump and see how I could fix it, like where is it going wrong and what I can control in the situation. But the reality is that like many situations you have no control over, like you have to let it play out. And I have to I'm learning to allow my emotions to just let it play out and not try to control everything and then stress myself out over not being able to control it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's good.
To piggyback off of Noah and Nadia, I think one thing is like definitely, being able to think for yourself in certain situations, but also understanding the difference between a critical thinker and an emotional thinker.
Mm-hmm.
Because, especially when you're in situations, especially with those close to you, sometimes you act off of impulse, and, that kind of, might bite you back in the end. So just understanding, Nadia said, taking patience and just sitting back and understanding the situation, and, looking at the best outcomes, because sometimes, it's not going to be the best outcome for you. You might think it is, but the thing is, just for me, understanding and being able to mature and understand, even though that's not the right situation, it's not the end of the world. Being able to move on from it in the end.
That's very good. Critical thinking versus emotional thinking, to me, is a big one. And I've had to learn to be, I said slightly different, but it's the same. You can respond to a situation or you can react. And usually reactions are emotional and responses are thoughtful and even prayerful. You're not impulsive, as you said, and doing it in the moment. And so I think that that's so on point, because a lot of people get in trouble for being emotional. There's a whole lot of people that are in jail from being emotional or being in situations. They make a temporary decision that impacts them permanently. And you just have to be mindful of that. So that's very, very good to even start thinking that way. And I know you may have heard this, but your brains don't fully develop until you're 25. And so you don't even have necessarily the capacity to consider all that you need to consider, one from life experiences and the other just from nurture and then growing. So that's why wise counsel is always important, is because asking people for help, that gives you the opportunity to say, hey, what do you think about this? Or, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What should I be thinking about? Because there's always, even me at the age I am, I'm always asking people because I don't know everything. But as soon as you think you know everything, you'll either respond in the moment because you're being emotional, or you'll do it because you don't think you need help. And then you can make, sometimes it's not even a bad decision. It's just not the best possible decision. So I love your analogy.
And the reality to your lives is that for 18 years, people were telling you what to do. You know, it was telling you when to go to school, when to get up, even when you get to school, when you go to move to classes, what's going to happen. And so now when you all are now out of that, and it's now like, oh my God, I gotta control this situation. I don't want to. I don't want to be in control. You know, I don't want to, or it's now stressful that you now have to have these and really make these decisions. Sometimes that are in the moment, that sometimes other people, when you all were in school, or how we would have some play dates. We planning play dates for you all. You know, people controlled your lives for so long. And so now when you now have to do that on your own, it feels uncomfortable. You know, it feels like, oh my God, this is stressing me out. I don't want to do this, you know, but it's again that muscle that you guys are really beginning to exercise. And I'm sure your parents are saying, all right, you're an adult now. What this look like? What this feel like? So I think this is great insight for you all to be able to have that and know that this forming who you are. It's forming, and it's really forming this season of your life. It's not forming all of, but it's this season of your life. So
do you all feel your parents, because you're talking about independence, have you felt your parents pull back from making decisions for you and are now asking you what you think and why you think that, or trying to get you to make the decisions yourselves? And if so, how does that make you feel?
We want to go ahead.
For me, I'm kind of happy my parents are like pushing away from me or like letting me make my decisions. It's allowing me to think. I don't know. I feel like they like were such like a crutch that were like hearing me along the way, and like now that they've like really like hands off for the most part, it feels really good. I feel like I can think for myself, make the best decision, really think through the situation of like my own mindset, and not have to think through them. Is how I put it. So yeah, it's allowed me to like really think for myself.
Very
I
good.
love that. Think through them. I love that for me. Yeah, that's a bar. I've been trying to Mike is hating my that's a bar. But it is. That's a bar. I like that. Whatever, hater. Go ahead, Nadia.
I think as a 22-year-old, I think my parents have really definitely stepped back after having sent me to college, and then me coming back home from college and choosing to go to a community college afterwards. It was like they were letting me make my own choices and decisions. They tried to help me understand my own choices and decisions, but it was my choice, my decision, you make it. But they were there to at least kind of guide me. They wouldn't guide me into a direction that they wanted. It was more of a guide me into an understanding of why I'm going to make those choices. And I really appreciated that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Very good. Because it's your choice. That means it's also your consequence.
Because your future is your
responsibility.
responsibility. Your responsibility. Okay, we're going to shift gears just a little bit in terms of now looking at, again, your future. And part of that is like career and calling. What do you feel like you're wanting to do? And here's the thing, like we know that this is what we're loving is the discovery that you all are on. That's exactly what I believe these years of your lives are about. Discovering who you are, your identity, who you are with disconnected, maybe not disconnected, but who you're forming, who you're becoming, what you like, what you don't like, you know, and even beginning to form your own values. And you have some foundational pieces around the values. But really this season of your lives is really is on discovering what you're looking into. So now in terms of where you all are, so I'm now looking at careers and where you want to go. Where are you in terms of your career direction? Do you feel like you locked in? Do you feel like you're still searching, or somewhere in between?
To be honest, as like I got through college and like my eyes have kind of opened, I try new things. I feel like I am locked in with what I want to do, being a sports broadcast journalist, but I feel like the opportunities I've had with the different roles I've been in have expanded like of what I want to do, like on for like side jobs. Like doing music is cool. I want to do that too on the side. Like doing music for y'all, I wanted to do music for movies and like video games and making my own music as well. I feel like that's a really good outlet. And of course, also just being a journalist, being in front of the camera and behind the camera with my minor, that helps me a lot doing that, because I want to do sports documentaries too. I want to be a producer for those. Growing up with watching those has been a big impact on what made me want to be behind the scenes for that. And I really do enjoy doing that. So I feel like within that entertainment field with sports, there's the possibilities are really endless to be honest.
That's great. Yeah, when you first start a career, a lot of times you go to college, but college to me is to help you think. And then once you start getting exposure to the industry, you're like, oh, wow, I can do this job, that job. So it's great. Exposure is always good. So just getting to know people in your community, getting to know, it's always a good thing. So who else? Locked in, still searching, somewhere in between.
By locked in, yeah, I mean like kind of
whatever you
at the final stage.
Whatever you think it means.
Okay. I'll take it like locked in, meaning like focused on what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm locked in on what I want to do. And I guess like now I'm just discovering that there's more competition than what I thought it would be. Cause I'm used to hearing people like getting into things like trades, like straight out of high school. And now I'm finding that it's a lot more that you have to go through nowadays because it's so much more competitive. And I haven't been deterred by that, but it's just a little, just a little bit of an obstacle. You know, you gotta jump over those. So that's all.
Good. That's good. Yeah, it's a process, man. And I think a lot of times, I don't want to speak, because my son is on this panel, but I'm just going to use him as an example. But I think as young adults, and even for me, you don't realize the journey that it took for us to get to where we are. And where our life is right now is 30 years in. And so it's almost also unfair for us to compare our now to your what's next. And so your what's next and the process that it's going to take in this day and age is different from what it took for us. And so that's why I'm always sensitive. And that's another reason why we wanted to even have this conversation, just so that we're not looking at your lives from our viewpoint and our standpoint, but to really truly understand what are y'all dealing with in the process of going through it. Everything I read says the trades are going to be massive. But that also means that they're not going to make it easy. If everybody going into a trade is already predicted, it's going to be so scarce that all of the people are going to be billionaires because they're not going to have enough people. But that means that it's also going to be harder and more competitive for those who are going in. So I would just say stick the course. And not that it's only about money, but stick the course. And I know that you'll be fine. Who else? Locked in, still searching, somewhere in between.
We'll let all three of you.
I would say, I think I'm getting to the locked in point now. I have switched gears maybe 1,000 times.
That's okay.
It really was figuring out what I wanted, because I'm like, when I came here, I said I wanted to be a lawyer. And then I switched to criminal justice to wanting to be a forensic psychologist. And then I got to college and I was like, no, I don't think that's for me, actually. I had to accept that maybe I just like crime as like a pastime, but that's not meant for my career. And so I recently just switched into business management, and I'm like, it felt like a breath of fresh air, because in criminal justice, I felt trapped. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'll go with this. And also with my school, it was like, they were almost pushing me to be a cop. And I'm like, well, that's not what I want. Like, I don't want to do that. So it was just like, nothing felt right. And so it made me feel like I was doing everything wrong. And I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So then once I talked to my mom, because she's also in management, HR, she gave me so much insight, and she was like, let's take a career test. Like, this is okay. You can switch gears. Like, you don't have to be stuck. And so she really helped me through that. And so I realized that management, all my interests were in management. I was like, you know what? Let's try it out. And so even just after one semester, I'm like, yeah, this is where I need to be. Like, I feel better in this. I can see myself in this in the future. And, like, I think I'm locked in.
The boss.
Yeah.
That's what it
Of
is.
course. Yes, of course.
That's great.
Of course. Mia, what do you want to share?
I'm definitely locked into my like future career path, and like now that I'm into my senior year heading into it, I know it's like I'm for real locked in. Just like one, having like the professional career I'm like going towards is like really good. I enjoy it, and then also my major, I've come to realize I've really enjoyed the classes I'm taking, and that's like the number one sign for me, knowing that if I'm enjoying this and I'm, even though they're so hard and professors are hard to work with, I'm still enjoying it regardless, and I'm able to like take away some fun facts and like have excitement when I like tell my parents or my friends what I'm learning. So I know I'm like on the right path and I'm locked in with what I want to do. But maybe the career path I'm going towards was never what I expected, but it's still like interesting, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So
When you say wasn't what you expected, say more about that.
Okay, I'm interested right now in oil and gas, and it's kind of the career path of like internships I'm doing. I never would have saw that. Like my freshman year, I was kind of like, oh no, oil and gas. For a major of environmental engineering, that's kind of like, how would I say this? It's not like a bad career, but like it's controversial in conversations, just because oil and gas is not the best for the planet. But it was a path I never thought I was gonna see. But I feel like God opened a door for me to interview and like get through that hard process to get that internship. That I was like, okay, let me try it out. Like there were so many closed doors. This door's open. Let me try it out. And like it surprised me that like something that I said no to, there's so much more good I'm like learning from it, I guess.
What did you learn about yourself in saying yes to something that you were so opposed to?
I learned that like I shouldn't like judge or like say no to things and just be open to anything. I'm kind of like a person who like, I don't know, stresses and like, I don't know, says no to things because I'm scared or stuff, but like just being open to like change, I guess, like another big thing for me. So that's what I kind of learned.
Very good.
That's good. Yeah.
Anybody else?
I would say I'm somewhere in between. I do still have my eyes locked on being a civil lawyer, but I want to take up internships after I finish at NIU under my finance major, just to see what career paths I can visit through that major. And if I prefer those, I could, instead of going to law school, I could find a career under that path. But I see both of them as an option.